Sunday there Yungo Jimsan de Koreans and Inchi the Tusona Nasu there walk Jefferson and didn't so walk Gangla Jefferson Rochi in the Kache, the Monetoni Nasu Jeffro going also there on the heaviest. Somehow Moneton in their public statement to so a Revaja. In a niece and also Ponala, the Kangayu by the Nation, the Jacka Shambag, and just supported in the Jacka Shambana, and the Tenders of Revando Shujakis, or Titichi.
We're at the House of Commons. It was a really impressive debate. Simon Hughes spoke really clearly and represented the Tibetan people inside, and I think a lot of the British MPs that were present also received that message and stood up for Tibet today. They talked not only about the self-immolations, but they mentioned about Tunduk Wangchen, the environment, the resettlement of nomads, language rights, and that they will continue to press the Chinese government and have been doing so quite strongly throughout the last months on the Tibetan issue to China, which has given us much hope, and they have promised to keep the issue up and to raise the issue in the next coming weeks.
That the Minister, Henry Bellingham, gave what we would call a robust reply, a strong reply, saying how determined the government are to take up with the Chinese government at all levels the immolations issue, the language issue, the ability to teach Tibetan, the ability of people to practice their faith as they wish, and general political freedoms. And the Minister has also said to me he will write to me about other issues that I raised as ways of making progress. For example, to make sure there are independent agencies like the Red Cross or people able to observe what happens. I hope that will be circulated, and we want to take up with the BBC the question of whether they might have a Tibetan service, Tibetan language service as part of the World Service, which would be fantastic. And we will fix up a meeting. We wanted to have this debate first, but in the new year we'll fix up a meeting with the Director General of the BBC or the head of the World Service. We want to get the faith leaders in this country, both the Christian denomination leaders, so the Anglicans and the Roman Catholics and the Free Churches, but also the Hindus and the Muslims and the Sikhs and the Buddhists, to see if they can come together and make a faith-based appeal and ask the Chinese if they can go to China and engage there. And then, together with a Labour colleague and a Conservative colleague, I chair a group called the All-Party Group on Conflict Issues, and we would like to have a discussion with you, which will have plenty of room for everybody who wants to come, as to how you think we can pursue the matter by conflict resolution means, which is true to Tibetan spirit. And then we would, as a next step, invite the Chinese government to come and join us in that conversation. Whether they've come as a separate issue, but at least if we offer the hand of friendship and say we want to come and talk to you, we could perhaps build up some momentum for dialogue here in this country in Parliament. So it's not just a one-off event today, but there will be things that we will follow. 3 things on the agenda in the next few weeks.
I was really happy at the end, because not only they have stated in their speech that they're going to support the Tibetan issue, but at the same time they have given us the hope that somehow the conservative and the liberal governments will definitely going to take in actions, and I'm very positive that from this the debate something is definitely going to happen in few months' times, and I'm very thankful to the British governments, and especially the British public, and especially the MP as well, for bringing the issue at a very critical stage. And I hope we can achieve something better. If not, then I'm pretty sure that the British government and the people will always going to support us, and hopefully we will see the better result in days to come.
Today's been really, really good actually coming to the Parliament, because it's really sort of opened a few doors. and it really shows what Britain's actually doing. I'm actually quite surprised, actually. I got to a point where, you know, like yourself, Emma, you've been in the UK for a long, long time, and the cogs move very, very slowly. But it's finally people are doing something about it, and they've covered both things on human rights, but also the immolations in Tibet as well. And I think it's a big step moving forward for the Tibetans in the UK, but Tibetans globally as well. Definitely worthwhile coming, and I'm glad I've been invited today.
And then we'll fix that up in the next few days.
Thank you very much.
Will you look after that? Make sure that gets fixed. So lovely. Thank you very much. And we will keep up the pressure.
Yes. Well, I think the debate went quite well. I hope it's the start of many more such debates. But I think it takes a lot more than that. And I think those of us who live in this country, we have to be very strategic. And right now, since there is an interest, the 5 MPs recently visited Dharamsala, have come back, and they're very gung-ho about wanting to do something. So, you know, I'm going to meet with them and discuss how we can be a little bit more strategic. And at the end of the day, I think something needs to come out of all this. Otherwise, it just sits on a piece of paper and that's all there is to it. Every little thing counts. But again, I mean, one needs to really sit down. And because too many times in different parliaments in the world, what I've seen is some MP who's a Tibet supporter gets up and raises a question, and the government answers, and then it gets dropped. We have to make sure that there are at least 4 or 5 MPs who are going to pick up on that question and keep asking the question. Otherwise, it just drops and that's it. This is what I mean by being more strategic.
It was really encouraging to have today's debate in Westminster, 3 days before Human Rights Day, and following on from such international pressure and interest in Tibet, particularly with the Americans and the German statements. It's good to see that the British government is now coming out with much stronger statements, and also the closing remarks by Henry Bellingham, who was replying on behalf of the government, did show that there is real intent, and I think that they will be following up this debate, which is really encouraging, with yet more pressure on China. So we hope that this is just the beginning of far more worldwide and global pressure to bring a peaceful and just solution for the Tibetan people.
I think the Tibetans and Tibet supporters have a lot of work ahead of them. It's very important to get your local representative involved. For that to happen, you have to go and call them, visit their constituency office, call their offices here, and make sure that they hear that they know that in their writing there are people who are concerned about what's happening in Tibet. Otherwise, it's always a handful of members of parliament who are Tibet supporters, and it's always preaching to the converted type of thing. So that's where the citizens need to get involved, I think.
Thank you, thank you. Please come and stand on the steps. Thank you very much. Come and stand on the steps. Thank you. No, we can do that. We can talk to the Germans. Okay, we're very happy. A great pleasure.
Thank you. Good luck.
A great pleasure. Thank you very much. Thanks for coming.
I presume it was an interesting debate. I wasn't quite able to get it on here. It's unfortunate. But thanks for the resume anyway.
Thanks again.